Welcome to Welcome to True Crime. Welcome to True Crime. Why? What? Why? Welcome to True Crime Tuesday. I'm Kay. September, however you want to refer, September K, whatever. But we here to talk about Aileen Wuornos. I'm really not. I told y'all these true crime videos be draining. But we're gonna talk about Aileen Carol Wuornos, whose maiden name was Pittman. A lot of people know this case, this story. As we know, I read from the Wikipedia. And it's a lot to get through, so we gonna get through it. Aileen Carol Wuornos, born Aileen Carol Pittman, on February 29th, 1956, was an American serial killer and prostitute who murdered 7 men in Florida in 1989 and 1990 by shooting them at point blank range. She claimed that her victims had either assaulted her private areas, because YouTube, you can't really say the words, plus I don't really like to say the word anyway, but yeah, or attempted to assault her private areas while they were soliciting a good time from her. A good time being, we're grown, we know what a good time is. And that all of the homicides were committed in self-defense, all 7 of them. She was sentenced to death for 6 of the murders and was executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002. She had a rough life, y'all, so let's get into early life. She was born in Rochester, Michigan, on the day I already told you. Her mother, Diane Warnos, who was born in 1939, was 14 years old when she married Eileen's father, 16-year-old Leo Dale Pittman. He was born in 1936 and died in 1969. On June 3rd, 1954, Eileen's older brother Keith was born. They got married on June 3rd, 1954. Keith was born March 14th, 1955, after less than 2 years of marriage. And 2 months before Aileen was born, Diane filed for divorce. Warnos never met her father, as he was incarcerated at the time of her birth. Leo Dale Pittman was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He was later convicted of lower body assault crimes against young people, children. He committed sewer slide by you gotta get around YouTube by dangling in prison on January 30th, 1969. In January 1960, when Warnos was almost 4 years old, Diane abandoned her children, leaving them with their maternal grandparents, Lori and Britta Warnos. Lori is the granddaddy and Britta's the grandmother. Isn't that something? Both alcoholics, who legally adopted Keith and Aileen on March 18th, 1960. By the age of 11, Warnos began engaging in lower body fun activities in school in exchange for cigarettes, drugs, and food. She had also engaged in lower body activities with her brother. Warnos said that her alcoholic grandfather had lower bodily assaulted her and beaten her when she was a child. Before beating her, he would, I'm not going to read that. In 1970, at age 14, she became pregnant, having been lower body assaulted by an accomplice of her grandfather. Warnos gave birth to a boy at a home for unwed mothers on March 23rd, 1971, and the child was placed for adoption. A few months after her son was born, she dropped out of school at about the same time that her grandmother died of liver failure. I'm sorry. I just liver failure was hyperlinked, and on Wikipedia, it'll like you just hover over it and it'll show you the beginning of the article. This picture, I'm not loving it. I'm not loving the picture for liver failure. When Warnos was 15, her grandfather threw her out of the house. I don't know why I yelled like that. That is a pile of clothes on my bed. What can we do about it? Nothing. Her grandfather threw her out of the house, and she began supporting herself through lower body activity work and living in the woods near her home. Early criminal activity. My nose, every time I come here, my nose gets to trickling. It's just a light trickle. And I ain't got no tissue, nothing in here. On May 27th, 1974, at age 18, Warnos was arrested in Jefferson County, Colorado, for driving under the influence, disorderly conduct, and firing a .22 caliber pistol from a moving vehicle. Dang, now she was drunk, loud, and shooting and driving. She was later charged with failure to appear. In 1976, Warnos hitchhiked to Florida, where she met 69-year-old yacht club president Louis Gratz Fell. They married quickly, and the announcement of their nuptials was printed in the local newspaper Society pages. However, Warnos continually involved herself in confrontations at their local bar and went to jail briefly for assault. She also hit Fell with his own cane, leading him to gain a restraining order against her within weeks of the marriage. She returned to Michigan, where on July 14th, 1967, she was arrested at Bernie's Club in Macedonia. I was finna say Macedonia, but that's Mansalona. In Mansalona, in Antrim County, and charged with assault and disturbing the peace for throwing a cue ball at a bartender's head. Them things hard. On July 17th, her brother Keith died of esophageal cancer. Dang it, I hovered over it and saw the picture. And Warnos received $10,000 from his life insurance. Warnos and Fell annulled their marriage on July 21st after only 9 weeks. In August 1967, Warnos was given a $105 fine for drunk driving. At this point, take her license. At this point, baby, she was already charged with a DUI and shooting out the window and hollering. Like, take the license. She used the money inherited from her brother to pay the fine and spent the rest within 2 months buying luxuries, including a new car, which she wrecked shortly afterwards. Take her license. On May 20th, 1981, Warnos was arrested in Edgewater, Florida, for the armed robbery. For the armed robbery of a convenience store, where she stole $35 and 2 packs of cigarettes. She was sentenced to prison on May 4th, 1982, and released on June 30th, 1983. On May 1st, 1984, Warnos was arrested for attempting to pass forged checks at a bank in Key West. On November 30th, 1985, she was named as a suspect in the theft of a revolver and ammunition in Pasco County. On January 4th, 1986, Warnos was arrested in Miami and charged with car theft, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice for providing identification bearing her aunt's name. Miami police officers found a .38 caliber revolver and a box of ammunition in the stolen car. On June 2nd, What is wrong with me? On June 2nd, 1986, in Volusia County, deputy sheriffs, I hope I said that right, deputy sheriffs detained Warnos for questioning after a male companion accused her of pulling a gun in his car and demanding $200. Warnos was found to be carrying spare ammunition, and police discovered a .22 caliber pistol under the passenger seat she had occupied. Now she left it in his car. Sister, you left your gun in that man's car. Around this time, Warnos met Tyria Moore, a hotel maid at the Daytona Beach lesbian bar. Oh, okay. she was a hotel maid, but they had to admit at the lesbian bar. I was like, is the lesbian bar a hotel? She was working at I got confused. They moved in together, and Warnos supported them with her earnings as a lower body activity worker. On July 4th, 1987, Daytona Beach police detained Warnos and Moore at a bar for questioning regarding an incident in which they were accused of assault and battery with a beer bottle. On March 7th, 1988, Warnos accused a Daytona Beach bus driver, of assault. She claimed that he pushed her off the bus following a confrontation. Moore was listed as a witness to the incident. Up until her execution, Warnos claimed to still be in love with Moore. On to the murders. Oh my God, today. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of information. Are you guys ready? You want to take a drink or pause me, take your medication, drink some water, read your Bible, these things. Because we finna talk about the murders. I'll give you about 5 seconds. Murders. Warnies. Not Warnies. Not I made her black, honey. Warnies, girl. Warnos murdered 7 men within a period of 12 months. The first being Richard Charles Mallory, age 51, on November 30th, 1989. He was an electronics store owner in Clearwater. Creedence Clearwater, and we're rolling. Mallory, why am I so silly? Mallory had previously been convicted for attempted lower body, assault, lower body assault, and she claimed to have killed him in self-defense. Warnos claimed she was lower body backdoor assaulted and brutally beaten after being driven to an abandoned area for lower body fund requests. 2 days later, a Volusia County deputy sheriff found Mallory's abandoned vehicle, because I'm country. On December 13th, his body was found several miles away in a wooded area. He had been shot several times, and 2 bullets to the left lung were declared the cause of death. Now that one I kind of believe. I believe that he had done tried it with Miss Warnos and with Warnice. And Warnice had done said, girl, no, not me. I'm gonna pop you. And she did. But I think all the other ones, she was like, oh, this an easy thing to do. I could just kill these men and say that they, lower body assaulted me, and then boom. Boom. Yeah, I kind of believe the first one, but not these other ones, girl. Warnice, I got your number. The next one being David Andrew Spears, age 47. We don't know when he was born. He was a construction worker in Winter Garden. He was declared missing May 19th of 1990. On June 1st, 1990, his unclothed body was found along U.S. Route 19 in Florida. In Citrus County, he had been shot 6 times by a .22 caliber pistol. Next, we have Charles Edmund Carskaddon, Carskaddon. Carskaddon. Oh my God. Age 40. Born May 31st, killed on May 31st, 1990. He was a part-time rodeo worker. On June 6th, 1990, his body was found in Pasco County. He had been shot 9 times with a .22 caliber weapon. The body had been wrapped in an electric blanket and was badly decomposing when found. I mean, yeah, he been a month. May, June. It ain't even been a month, it's been a week. Why he was decomposing so bad? Why they say he was badly decomposing? When David was found, he was declared missing in May 19th, and then he wasn't found till June 1st. So I'm not understanding why Charles had done decomposed so bad. Anyway, I'm sorry. Witnesses saw Warnice in possession of Carskaddon's car, and Warnice had also pawned a gun identified as belonging to Cadden. Next, we have Peter Abraham Siems. Siems? S-I-E-M-S. Siems? Peter Abraham Siems. He was 65 years old. We don't know when he was killed, but he was a retired merchant seaman. On June 1990, Siems left Jupiter, Florida, for Arkansas. On July 1st, 1990, his car was found in Orange Springs, Florida. Moore and Warnos were seen abandoning the car, and Warnos's palm print had done been found on the interior door handle. His body was never found. Troy Eugene Burress may be related to Candy. We don't know. Aged 50, we don't know when he was killed. He was a sausage salesman from Ocala, Florida. On June 31st, 1990, he was reported missing, and on August 4th, 1990, his body was found in a wooded area along State Road 19 in Marion County. He had been shot twice. Charles Richard, also known as Dick Humphreys. I don't know, why do the other colored people call like Richard, Dick, and William Bill? Where they get that from? He was age 56 and killed on September 11, 1990. He was a retired U.S. Air Force major, former state child abuse investigator, and former chief of police. On September 12, 1990, his body was found in Marion County. He was fully clothed and had been shot 6 times in the head and torso. His car was found in Suwannee County. And finally, Walter Gino Antonio, who was 62. We don't know when he was killed, but he was a trucker, security guard, and reserve police officer. On November 19, 1990, his nearly naked body was found near a remote lodging road in Dixie County. He had been shot 4 times. 5 days later, his car was found in Brevard County. Maybe Brevard County. Justice system. Apprehension and sentencing. On July 4th, 1990, Warnos and Moore abandoned victim Peter Siem's car after they were involved in an accident. She's just a poor driver. Why does she still have a license? I mean, honestly, sister probably would have been driving without a license. She's a criminal, so there's that. But dang it, take her license. Witnesses who had seen the women driving the victim's car provided police with their names and descriptions, resulting in a media campaign to locate them. Police also found some of the victim's belongings in pawn shops and retrieved fingerprints matching those found in the victim's car. Warnos had a criminal record in Florida, and her fingerprints were on file. On January 9th, 1991, Warnos was arrested on an outstanding warrant at the Last Resort, a biker bar in Volusia County. Police located Moore the next day in Scranton, Pennsylvania. She agreed to an illicit confession from Warnos, in exchange for immunity from prosecution. Immunity is so wild, because people be like, tell me everything you know and we're going to give you immunity. When really, the person getting immunity needs to be under the jail most of the time. Anyway, Moore returned with the police to Florida, where she was put up in a motel. Under police guidance, she made numerous telephone calls to Warnos, pleading her for help in clearing her name. 3 days later, on January 16th, 1991, Warnos confessed to the murders. She claimed that the men had tried to lower body assault her, and she killed them in self-defense. A year later, on January 14th, 1992, Warnos went to trial for the murder of Richard Charles Mallory. Although previous convictions are normally inadmissible in criminal trials under Florida's the Williams rule, The prosecution was allowed to introduce evidence related to her other crimes to show a pattern of illegal activity. On January 27, 1992, Warnos was convicted of Mallory's murder, with help from Moore's testimony. At her sentencing, a psychiatrist for the defense testified that Warnos was mentally unstable and diagnosed her with borderline. Don't bring us into it, honey. Don't bring the borderlines into it. Personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder. 4 days later, she was sentenced to death. Warnos' defense made efforts during the trial to introduce evidence of Mallory's prior charge of intent to commit lower body assault in Maryland, and his commitment to a maximum security correctional facility providing remediation to lower body assault offenders. Records obtained from the correctional institution showed that from 1958 to 62, Mallory was committed for treatment and observation and resulting from a criminal charge of assault with intent to commit lower body assault. And he received 8 years of treatment from the facility. In 1961, it was observed of Mr. Mallory that he possessed strong sociopathic trends. My God, why can't I speak? However, the judge refused to allow the records to be admitted in court as evidence and denied Warnos' request for a retrial. Now, wait a minute. Because like I said, I kind of believe that Charles was trying some foolishness with Warnos, girl. I kind of believe it. On March 31st, 1992, she pleaded no contest to the murders of Charles Richard Humphreys, Troy Eugene Burris, and David Andrew Spears, saying she wanted to get right with God. Well, sister, why didn't you just plead guilty? In her statement to the court, she said in part, quote, "I wanted to confess to you that Richard Mallory did violently lower body assault me, as I've told you, but these others did not. They only began to start to," end quote. I think sister was just triggered, and I think she was disturbed. A lot had gone on. Anyway, on May 15th, 1992, Warnos was given 3 more death sentences. In November 1992, wait a minute, I skipped, excuse me. In June 1992, she pleaded guilty to the murder of Charles Edmund Cadden. And in November 1992, she received her 5th death sentence. That's a lot of death sentences. Like, baby, the one, maybe 2, in case, she gets appealed and granted no death for one of them. So you got the backup one. 5 death sentences. Like, by the 5th one, it's like, girl, I'm gonna die. Like, what's the reason? In February 1993, Warnos pleaded guilty to the murder of Walter Juno Antonio and was sentenced to death again. No charges were brought against her for the murder of Peter Abraham Symes, as his body was never found. In all, Warnos received 6 death sentences. Like I said, 2 is enough. Like, y'all want her dead? Okay, 2. I'm not saying I, support the death penalty, because child, they get it wrong, and then folks is dead, and now what? But Warnos had done said she did it, child, so I don't know. She told several inconsistent stories about the killings. For example, she claimed initially that all 7 men had lower body assaulted her while she was working as a lower body worker, but later recounted the claim of self-defense, citing robbery and a desire to leave no witnesses as the reason for murder. During an interview with filmmaker Nick Broomfield, when she thought the cameras were off, I remember this. She was like, girl, off the record, I did do it in self-defense. But, child, I can't, like, just gonna kill me. Basically, she was like, I did it in self-defense, but I'm gonna tell the folks I did it in cold blood so that they go ahead and kill me, because it was like, Eileen, sister. it was weird. She, let me see, assessed using the Psychopathy Checklist. Warnos scored 32 out of 40. The checklist evaluates individuals on a 20-item list of antisocial and interpersonal behaviors. With each item, I could see myself about to mess up. With each item being scored as 0, 1, or 2, with a maximum score of 40. Depending on location and research, prospective scores above 25 or 30 are consistent with a diagnosis of psychopathy. I kind of want to take the checklist. Maybe I'll do that at the end of this video. Long story short, girl, she had done got executed. At some point, she got adopted. I'm trying to find her mama, but I can't find it. And I'm tired of reading. She had done wrote that she killed him and robbed him, and she would do it again. And if they kept her alive, she would kill again. It was a very odd situation. I don't see where she was adopted, but she was. I don't know. Anyway, her last words would it is scary to me, honey. Her last words were, "Yes, I would just like to say I am sailing with the rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th. Like the movie, big mothership and all. I'll be back. I'll be back." What? Warnos. That's scary to me. My heart racing. I wish y'all could feel it. That's scary. And what Independence Day got to do with it? What Will Smith? Why is he in it? Wasn't he in Independence Day? Anyway, she was the 10th woman in the United States and the second in Florida to be executed since 1976 United States Supreme Court decision to restore capital punishment. Her body was cremated and her ashes were spread beneath a tree near her native Michigan by her childhood friend Don Botkins. Warnos requested that Natalie Merchant's song Carnival be played at her funeral. Okay. And then they wrote a bunch of books and did some documentaries, and they did a biographical drama film called Monster. And Charlize Theron played her, and Christina Ricci was in it. And Theron got an Academy Award. And then there's a horror thriller film, Aileen Wuornos' American Boogeyman, which was a prequel to Monster. It was released on video on demand on October 8th, 2021. That's the other day. What? They still releasing stuff on video on demand? I am shocked. It doesn't go just straight to streaming now? And on DVD, October 15th, 2021. On DVD, girl. It stars some girl named Peyton List as young Aileen Wuornos. I may watch it. They did the Aileen Wuornos story. They did a Law and Order episode of, based on it. Even though a Law and Order be like, this just coincidence. We ain't talking about nobody. Unless it was a rip from the headlines episode. And yeah. Child. It's just a lot. They did a lot of carrying on. A lot. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk to y'all about as far as Eileen. I'm finna do this psychopathy checklist, child. How long is the test? Let me look it up. Because I might do it right here on this video and tell y'all what's tea. Can I find it online? Psychopathy checklist online is what I'm looking for. I'll do it in a different video. Anyway, thank you for visiting us on True Crime Tuesday. Oh God, why did I do this to myself? True Crime Tuesday. 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 Okay, yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank me for speaking. And yeah, come back next week for the next murderer, child. That's all I can tell you. Like, comment, and subscribe. All the things the YouTubers say. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.